All right, let's go ahead and get started. The first card, which is in your past, is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles is somebody who's very stable and intelligent. It could be a reliable friend, or this could be representative of you. And he's open to spiritual knowledge, and I think that's really important. He appreciates things that go along with tradition and quality. Thinking of the Hierophant, he could be a lot of tradition, okay? So he appreciates these things, but he's open to spiritual knowledge, like from a spiritual group of some sort. He needs some security. As far as love, love's not easily won. And he's possessive, but, loyal. Okay. Okay, I'll come back to this later. The next card we have is the clarifying card, the Sun. The Sun, talks about like taking a journey. You don't have to make very much effort. Like, welcome to a new you, new life. And so maybe you made some kind of a spiritual decision or a good investment, and it made a new you. Could be investing in a relationship. If that's you, could be investing in a relationship with a person like this. Could be earth sign like Capricorn or Taurus. We only have 3 Pentacles cards. The rest of them are cups. Like 1 sword, no, 2 sword, and 2 wands. Okay. So with this Sun upright, it's always a good thing. Your choices added up to a really great life. Like, you are the model of success, maybe spiritually. This could talk about being inspired by a vision or an idea. And here, with the King of Pentacles, this is a visionary. Okay. So you could have had a business come up. And, look here, since the star is right next to the King of Pentacles in the reading, you could have had some kind of a hobby that's becoming a money-making career, or it just recently became a money-making career. And you really embrace it, you enjoy it. And it's giving you some inspiration and some hope. So you could be like a successful model of how to start your own business out of a hobby. And even though, you're inspired, you're alone. Okay. And I see that, this star is inspired. But then with the 4 of Swords clarifying it talks about being alone, maybe a lonely phase. So you may be alone in this business, or you may be alone in this relationship pretty soon after you get into it. And then clarifying, we have Ace of Wands with the Sun. And it says, you're going to have mastery over this area. So this wand area, which is passion, inspiration, action. You're going to have some improvement in your mastery over that area. Doesn't mean you'll completely master it. It'll just be improved a lot. And it's something that had been troubling you. It could be with an old flame. Maybe mastering some emotions with an old flame. Maybe you had felt previously disengaged, not passionate about a job. And so now your passion seems to have come back because of this new hobby that you had that turned into a career. And also, the career or hobby could be working with some tools. We have tools and working with your hands and tools. So maybe it's tarot card reading, and you're using your hands, and these cards are tools. It could be in construction working. Maybe you really like to build things, and you made your own business out of, just think about like how Yeshua did it, just building chairs and tables and whatever else might have been around. I'm just kidding. I don't know what was around. But he was a carpenter, obviously, so that came into it. So maybe you're into carpentry, especially with this wood. Oh, okay. That's a phallic symbol, so that's why I was laughing. An internal 8-year-old. All right, so coming to the star, which is the next card. You know, we have the 8s here. 8s talk about cycles and movement and action and change and being reborn, like some kind of a transformation. So you have hope. And just, it also talks about, you know, introspection and solitude. We have 2 star cards. So I'm not sure why this is not Aquarius's reading, because we got their card and some stars. And then Leo is represented by the sun. And so that's a star card as well. And then we have stars inside the pentacles. So we have a lot of starry energy. So maybe you're going to be a star. All right. So with the star, you're in this calm state. You're feeling hopeful. You've been rewarded for being generous and pure with your generosity. You see the world differently. And with the 4 of Swords clarifying it, it says you're surrendering to an ideal. You have a very bright future. You're unique. You've been enlightened. And you think, well, this ideal is worth surrendering to. Now, whether or not that surrender is good, you know, we'll talk about later. But basically, you think, you know, humanity's being unified, you're recovering, you're able to offer forgiveness to any bad relationships you've had before you met this person or before you meet somebody in the future. And since it's next to the King of Pentacles, like, you are determined. Okay. And then we have 6 of Pentacles in this reading. It's in reverse. But when I see star in this, I think of being a performer. So you could be like a star as a performer, maybe an actor, actress. And then, you know, also, yeah, we talked about this, but just being a visionary and investing well in something, an idea, that an inspiration you had, and it just paid off. But with 4 of Swords, I also see being a little restless because there's no progress, either with the relationship or the business in the past. Like, it may have paid off. This is still in the past, so it's paid off, but it's just, it's stagnating a little bit. And you're taking precautions. And I can see the King of Pentacles being a precaution as well. And you may be disillusioned with love. And I could see that with, we have illusions here. So here you had this illusion and then you became disillusioned. Could have been with your hobby, could have been with a job, or relationship as this was originally intended to be. In the present, we have 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So this tells me you're not able to handle whatever's going on. You've invested too much and you're not allotting the time necessary to make this idea or this transition work in a balanced way. Now, take that as a job, a hobby that turned to career, or a relationship. You're not devoting the time. You may still have a day job. And so this new career, you're not able to give it the time that it needs. So yeah, your invested energy is not balancing whatever needs to be balanced. And let's see, where was it? With the 5 of Cups later on, which is in your future, this talks about feeling emotionally empty or even bored with the work you have. So you may be bored with your day job, both in the present and going into the future. And you don't even like it. So you're balancing, but you're not doing a very good job of it. And what's in reverse, it says you have to end something There's this cyclical pattern going on. Also seen with Strength in reverse that clarifies this card. Strength is clarifying the Two of Pentacles, and they're both in reverse, and they're both infinity symbols or eights. Okay, so we have the eights in the Star card, and then we have the eights in these reverse cards. Those are all the eights that we have. So this talks about, it feels like there's no progress, but it may be invisible. And there's some stagnation, maybe a little bit of negativity, and not changing your mind. Like here we have like changing mind with this Four of Swords and that. But here maybe you're not changing your mind. But there's no action. Again, we have stagnation. There's a lack of success, a lack of recognition. You're not attaining or accomplishing what you want. And it could be due to time allotment. So, you're balancing two things, okay? And one of them is in excess. Also, it could be you're outgrowing. You're outgrowing a relationship, or you're outgrowing a job or career. And you're just kind of going in circles. Again, with the Strength, going in circles. Things are going, but they're not ever getting reconciled. It just keeps going, nothing gets solved. For some of you out there, you're choosing between marriage and not marrying, like yourself and getting married. I definitely see that here. And this says, you have to make a definite decision. And you feel like you're not able to handle that decision. Like you had this really great relationship, and then all this love and stuff, and then something burst your bubble. And with the Hierophant, I see marriage or conformity to a marriage-like group or career or idea. And it could be somebody in the past based on the Six of Cups coming out. Okay, so it could be somebody from the past who wants to reconcile and get married. And with the Knight of Swords, they could want to get married quickly, or perhaps you want to get married quickly, and they aren't having it. Also, with this card in reverse, this tells me like your Mercury's in retrograde. So with the Infinity in reverse and two cards, this says that there's some bad communication or miscommunication, lost communication. And I also see that with the Page of Wands in reverse. Like this message of passion isn't coming through. And here we have this offer message of passion. It's pure passion. Okay, but it's not coming through. Somebody's also not being very bold. Nothing's being accomplished from fighting. But yeah, there's just this is miscommunication. Something's unstable. So you're not communicating well because you're unstable. Could be with coworkers, could be with a lover. Could just be overall bad news. Okay. Like you're expecting an offer, but you're not getting it. Okay, clarifying, we have Six of Pentacles in reverse. So I see there's some kind of a warning. Oh yeah, illusion. Okay, so yeah, you realize you were under an illusion. In the near future, either you come back to an illusion or you realize it was an illusion. Could be somebody who wanted your money. And this can warn about theft. So if you invested really well, you were thinking everything was hopeful, somebody probably couldn't balance your bank account right or your investments, and you lost your money, you lost your strength, and you don't feel very alive and youthful anymore. You feel like you've aged quite a bit. And this is talking about somebody like stole your money pretty much if they lost it. It could be about legal matters like money, alimony. But whatever the situation is, it dominates you because this is in reverse. And it's giving very little back. And I see that with Strength and the Two of Pentacles. You're putting so much into it and getting nothing in return. Could be, and this also represents desire, so it could be as far as desire. You really desire this person, but they don't feel that way about you as much as you do. Also, just not being very vigilant. And it says you have to accept the unsatisfying situation. In the future area, we have Five of Cups in reverse. So this does tell me that there's a return of an ex-lover, reconciled lovers, sorrow is over. Now, sorrow could be over because, the troubles are ending. You settled some kind of unfinished business with all this lack of closure in the present. This also talks about false starts. Like maybe that business was going and then it stopped because of some money issues. But it says, you're going to have to build bridges, probably with family. Somebody's going to help you out in regards to friends and family. A close friend might come out and help you. But if you don't get back with an ex-lover, this talks about getting rid of those old memories and then moving on. Or you could just work on the relationship and build it up. But it says your troubles are ending. You're going to have good news. Happy feelings are coming back. You're going to have a renewal. But looking at the Hierophant and the Six of Pentacles that we just went over a minute ago, it says your individuality was lost to what was a higher cause in your mind. Because with the Star, you really believe in good causes, helping out those who need it, and the unification of humanity. So you lost yourself in this surrender to an ideal, whether it's like in a marriage. Could have been like a quick marriage. Okay. You just lost yourself in this group. And with the Five of Cups and with Strength, you lost your self-respect. But this being in the future, and it's in reverse, it says you're going to get it back. Yay! Then, let's see, Two of Pentacles and the Hierophant says you're going to renew your faith. You're going to have like some new security. Like you are going to end something, and then you're going to be able to handle the juggling issue, and you're going to get some more security. Maybe you'll get security from a marriage, depending on who you are. But again, with this Six of Pentacles, like somebody is convinced that they are right. This is somebody that you know. They are just convinced that they are right. Okay. But because it's in reverse, you know they're not. And then again, keep going back between this and Two of Pentacles. I just need to stay where I'm at. Just again, you could be studying part-time. And so you're having trouble allotting time. You could be going to some kind of group organization and you don't have enough time for your marriage. Or your marriage is taking time away from your career or your hobby that turned career. Wrong spot. And with the Page of Wands right next to Two of Pentacles, you might work with youth. And we have the wands and the wand over there. So you could be working with youth, building things. Maybe you work with underprivileged youth who are getting some community service. But here, there's no receiving and giving. You're not receiving as much as you're giving. And again, you have this illusion, and this card is giving you a reality reminder. And then since it's in reverse and it's in the immediate future, you could have dodged a bullet. Not getting married to this person, you could be like, whew, okay, I didn't marry him because it was an illusion. like this whole situation is just dominating you and you're not getting anything out of it. And again, nothing's reconciled. If you come together, nothing reconciled. It just keeps going on and on. They're inattentive toward you, or you're inattentive toward them. There's some jealousy going on. And I don't see any cheating in here, so I'm not sure what the jealousy is about. Could be a strength in reverse. Just somebody's disrespectful. If there was some kind of secret, the cat's out of the bag. Okay, but being depressed and hopeless. Again, we have somebody's controlling. It's not a mutually supportive relationship. Like, this is a domineering person, possibly even a dom, as in BDSM, and then just really primal passion. And maybe you can't juggle maybe some beliefs you have, okay? Seeing as how you thought it would be, you can't juggle that and what it actually is. Juggling reality and your illusion or your hopes. But with Six of Cups, I think this is somebody from the past. And with the Knight of Swords, I see like you're having really strong nostalgia for the way things used to be, or how you used to be before you lost your identity. And you're wanting to go home again, whether it's literally or to yourself as a home, or to a relationship that felt like home. And this is like an urgent return to an innocent time. Also, again, with the Hierophant, could be a very quick reunion, or a very quick marriage with someone from the past. You're kind of like, I remember how things used to be until they changed. Okay? And so you usually want this idea to go back to this quiet life where you didn't have to struggle to balance things so much.